Yo, cryptocurrencies are crashing today, with most coins being down in the double digits, and Bitcoin itself is around $63,000 as I'm recording this video right now, down 7%, roughly $4,600. But if you really zoom out here on the daily, you can see that this is a healthy and important correction. This might be going on for a couple more days or weeks. We also saw two big events. Number one, the meme coin casino taking absolute crazy and absurd dimensions. And also we saw the Bitcoin ETF, the Bitcoin spot ETF flows being negative for the first time since March 1st, with hundreds of millions flooding out of the ETF providers. But let's do this one by one and start off with just looking generally at the markets and what are some of the biggest discounts today. We see Ethereum at $3,200 after one of the largest upgrades it ever had that kind of went silent for most people and brings down Ethereum L2 fees and just drives more scalability. So this upgrade happened last Wednesday. And yeah, since then, Ethereum has been just going down only. We also see Solana now correcting after it went to $210 yesterday, down 14% today. Also because the Solana meme coin casino hype seems to be slowing down. And it's funny, there's literally a coin called Sol Casino token here. But also Slurf, we're going to look into this in a second. Crazy stories that I read on Twitter, crypto Twitter, where the founder of Slurf somehow burned the tokens that he raised. And it's not just a few thousand, it was 10 million plus, $10 million that he accidentally burned. So these are all crazy, crazy events going on right now that are really a local top signal historically, right? So Solana down, but still ranked fourth, just slightly before BNB. And then, yeah, we go further down the list. Avalanche holding up relatively stable, only 6% down, $56. Cardano minus 11, Shiba Inu and Doge 13 and 12% down. We even see Near down 16% in this crash today, even though they are currently at the NVIDIA GTC conference in California, where Ilya is also speaking, and they have quite a decent presence there. So that doesn't help with price at all. And yeah, all the other coins are down in the double digits, like I said. And we really have to scroll down here to rank 28 now to our beloved Cosmos Hub Atom, $10.63 as I'm recording, keeps crashing, $10.68 here on Binance, minus 11%, $1.37 down in the past 24 hours. Also, the other AI plays that are currently at the NVIDIA GTC conference, Bittensor, only down 5%, so not really much, but Render down 16%. And also, I have to mention here that Akash network in $5.32, not getting hit as much, only down 7% in the past 24 hours. But there's some major news around Akash network, and that is that Akash network AKT will be listed on Coinbase today. So trading will begin on March 19 around 12 p.m. ET. And in my video from yesterday, I talked about how Akash is also right now at the GTC conference in California. And yesterday I was saying that potentially this also brings more eyeballs on the project and also pushes the listing over the finish line, might be good timing. And that's actually what we're exactly seeing today, that AKT will get listed there. I don't know how big of an impact that will have, given that today is a pretty red and bearish day. And to be honest, crypto is moving so fast that the sentiment changes within hours, literally, at this pace, right? So we have to wait and see how much that impacts the price today. But at least so far it impacts the price not totally collapsing or crashing like we're seeing with many other cryptocurrencies today. Now, that's it here. We might also just see Bitcoin crawling back up, because the main event why Bitcoin has this uncertainty and this huge sell-off is also probably just driven by GBTC selling off, right? GBTC, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, that has been the first one, and they're still sitting on hundreds of thousands of BTC that were accumulated at huge discounts in the bear market, which is also why a lot of people are cashing that in now, right? Because during the bear market, there was huge discounts on purchasing Bitcoin through Grayscale, because it was only a one-way transaction and you couldn't redeem that, right? So they were basically betting on this spot ETF to be approved. And ever since that happened, Grayscale converted their trust into a Bitcoin spot ETF, which is why now all these people that bought Bitcoin at a 40-50% discount on the spot price back in the bear market when Bitcoin was at around 16, 17, 18, 20, $25,000, they're all now sitting on huge profits. So they don't care if they sell it 65, 62, 58, 52, right? Doesn't matter for them. They're still sitting on huge profits, unless of course they're like long-term believers and hodlers. But yeah, that's what we're seeing. Overall though, this Bitcoin spot ETF volumes are still very, very high ever since it got approved here in January. You can see that here, especially in like late February and early March, the volumes have been going through the roof, and the cumulative volume here is now approaching $150 billion. And you can really see nicely here on this chart how GBTC has been giving away market shares because they have the largest outflows, which basically means the largest sell pressure, and at the same time a lot of this gets absorbed by the other big ones, right? IBIT is basically BlackRock, you have Fidelity, ARK, and many others here. But you can see here when this ETF was approved, Grayscale had a total of 617,000 Bitcoins, and as of today they only have 378,000. So they almost cut their Bitcoin holdings in half, but this still accounts for around $28 billion that Grayscale has in BTC. Well, not all of them, of course, going to be sold. Like I said, there's also a lot of long-term believers, but I think that BlackRock will soon overtake Grayscale, become the largest asset manager for the Bitcoin spot ETF, and they already absorbed 15 billion of that sell pressure from Grayscale. But yeah, this is what we're really looking at, and it keeps the market bearish right now because Grayscale yesterday had $642 million in outflows, whereas BlackRock absorbed 451.5 of that, and some others as well. But that caused a net outflow of $154 million, which is the first time since March 1st that we saw a negative flow of the Bitcoin spot ETF volumes. On the Ethereum ETF side of things, which it sounds like the probability that this ETF is going to be approved in May is quite low. I saw some surveys and some forecasts that say it's around 30%, but Fidelity just added staking to their application so that their ETF could also include staking. And to be honest, this also fits very nicely into what Grayscale recently did, announcing the Grayscale Dynamic Income Fund, where I made a full video about that, and also how bullish this is for Cosmos, because 4 out of the 9 coins that they are having in their GDIF product, a new product that they're launching, are actually Cosmos coins, right? And you can already see Osmosis here, the largest allocation of their holdings right now, where they're really betting on generating cash flow from these tokens, from these coins, right? Staking. And to be honest, once they discover airdrops, liquid staking, proper DeFi applications, right? Resilient, battle-tested DeFi that actually works, that actually generates on-chain revenue, I think then we are talking about a mature economy in DeFi and in crypto. And a lot of that is happening in Cosmos, right? They added even Atom here, they added TIA, they added Osmo, of course, and also Sane Network, which is also a Cosmos chain, which are 4 out of these 9 coins that they're holding in their portfolio. And to be honest, dips like today might also be opportunities for Grayscale to just increase their holdings, increase their exposure, buy the dip, and generate more cash flow from those tokens, right? Put them to work and have productive assets. So that's all about that. And also Fidelity being one of the applicants for the Ethereum spot ETF, including I think also BlackRock is one of them, and many others well known. This is definitely bullish. Fanek, of course, as well. They have been one of the OGs and applied for that multiple times in the past. So let's see. This would obviously be very bullish. I think the only thing is here also that there's not as much of a regulatory clarity around Ethereum and kind of proof of stake assets. And ETH now, after making the switch to proof of stake, I think it's a different kind of story to sell to the SEC and regulators. And it seems also that many of them are quite bearish and like cautious and just whining around about this whole POS stuff. So we have to wait and see if that's maybe a killer for the ETF to be approved. I think if it would get approved, where the likelihood is quite low, this would also be a relatively positive signal to the proof of stake market and economy in general, right? And all these coins, whether you talk about Solana, AVAX, obviously ETH itself, but all Cosmos coins, Celestia, Tia, right? Say Network, Atom, Osmo, like they're all proof of stake chains and tokens. So for that reason alone, I think an approval would be ultra bullish, but also because we'll probably see billions upon billions of real dollars flooding into crypto and flooding into ETH, which would pump the markets, do something crazier than the Bitcoin spot ETF approval did with BTC. And yeah, it would just be a huge alt season across the board. Now I want to briefly talk about meme coins that have hit a crazy $47.7 billion market cap after the crash. So this was actually 60 billion plus here yesterday. And you can see that this list keeps on going, and there's always new meme coins popping up left and right that just have 9-figure valuations out of nowhere, right? Book of Meme that also instantaneously got listed on Binance, $620 million market cap. Slurf, I talked about it earlier. Slurf, crazy story where I think the guy just made a tweet and made a pre-sale on Twitter and just said, if you send Sol here, you probably get some Slurf tokens. So the pre-sale for a meme coin on Twitter, and people sent tens of millions of dollars to those addresses. I think Slurf alone got $10 million. And then, like I said, I think the guy just accidentally burned those tokens. Absolutely crazy story. Like, this is already where we are, the part of this cycle where the meme coin casino, where also most people don't know what they're doing. They're just blindly sending coins to random addresses, unknown Twitter accounts, tens of millions of dollars, and then they're getting wrecked. They're getting scammed. These tokens are extremely volatile, and yeah, then you have something like that, right? Obviously, Slurf right now, 84 cents, went to $1.28 this morning, $2.6 billion trading volume. Absolutely insanity. Absolute insanity. But that's Slurf. Then we also have Book of Meme, boom, that got listed on all big exchanges, $765 million fully diluted, also over 2 billion in trading volume. And I saw that there was something around the origin address basically selling off, or basically, yeah, exiting large positions here. So my point here is really, if you're out there in the meme coin jungle, participating in the meme coin casino, totally fair. You have to be aware that probably most of that is illegal, because especially if you're based in the US, right? Those are all like unregistered securities, and people are just scamming left and right. You just need to be aware of that. And if you still want to participate, then you just have to be aware that the risk factor is extremely high, right? And Zach XBT made a tweet here where he's saying, like, I was interested to see how much Sol has been sent as a result of the pre-sale meta, and he calculated roughly $122.5 million from 27 pre-sales, right? And here you can see the Slurf guy raised 54,000 Sol, 170,000, 160,000, absolutely insane numbers. Now, obviously, also the scammers are jumping on this, right? And they can raise a few thousand Sol here, a few thousand Sol there. But 1,000 Sol is basically $200,000, $150,000, $180,000 right now, right? So those dimensions are just crazy and out of touch with the reality, right? This is not really like what crypto is about, right? I understand the whole kind of fun around it, and people are just going crazy about it. I personally am not participating in that. I do not recommend you to participate in that. Actually, I would tell you to like ignore that as much as you can. Also ignore when people are telling you how much money they made within 6 hours flipping random casino coins, casino meme coins. But it's super, super dangerous, and don't cry, don't whine if you get wrecked, if you lose all your money, right? If you want to gamble with a small amount of your money and you're willing to lose, totally fine. Go ahead. But yeah, don't invest your net worth into that, right? That's really my message here. It's super dangerous, and yeah, you have to be aware of the risk. Now, if you are worried about the current market sentiment, about this dip, if you're scared, if you think now this is the end, we're done, crypto is over, the bull market is over, the top was in, we're going down only from here. This negative sentiment, and Crypto Sebo put it perfectly on point here, It's incredibly how fast this sentiment changes, right? Last year, when you were told that we are in a bear market with Bitcoin at 60,000, well, when Bitcoin was at 25,000, you would have said, no king way. If Bitcoin is at 60,000, I will be the happiest person on earth. Now we went from 73 to 62, and people are scared. People are worried, right? And there will be a point in the future where Bitcoin will go down from 150K to 100K, right? When Ethereum will go down from 10K to 7K. All these things are going to happen. And the sentiment on these days, when these crashes happen, will be extremely, extremely bad, and people will be very, very scared, right? Perspective is all that matters. You need to have balls of steel to survive here. And yes, crypto is a mind game, right? Crypto really is testing your mental stability, how committed you are to the industry over and over again, right? It doesn't stop. I'm in this game now for 7 years, and it's always a test. Yo, Sito, how committed are you to this industry? Yo, how committed are you to your own research, to your beliefs in this technology, in this economy, in this industry, in the people that are building in that space? And it's just over retesting your own conviction and your own commitment, right? So you need to really have this crystal clear conviction into this industry. Otherwise, you're not going to make it, and you get washed out. You will panic sell. You will leverage in the bull run. You will lose everything, and you will FOMO into meme coins at the top, and you will panic sell when the bottom is in, right? And you will lose interest, right? But you have to be constantly in it, right? You have to be constantly in it, and you have to also learn from your mistakes, and that's really how you make it over time. Now, talk to you about the Akash AKT news, bullish news. They get listed on Coinbase today. I want to end this video with two positive notes. So that's the first one, Akash AKT. The second positive note is that the now second largest RWA real world assets play or tokenization play called Mantra DAO, Mantra Chain, is about to launch their own layer 1 blockchain. So right now it's called Mantra DAO, and they will soon launch their own Cosmos layer 1 blockchain. And with that launch, they will also have a 50 million OM token airdrop for Atom stakers and Bad Kid NFT holders. This has been announced already. We don't know exactly yet the eligibility for kind of minimum stake requirements. From what I'm aware of, the snapshot has not been taken yet. So don't take my word for granted here, obviously, but this is just the latest information that I personally have. And yeah, Mantra OM is also right now the only project that's really pumping, right? 74 cents yesterday when I made this tweet, 49% up. And if we look today, we're at 82 cents, right? Another 20% up today. So amazing to see $728 million fully diluted valuation. And this is going to be the next Cosmos chain, one of the next Cosmos chains to launch, right? So I want to leave it there. I hope you stick around through crypto, through these crashes, and you just see this as opportunities to potentially also buy the dip, increase your exposure, right? I think especially for altcoins, there's a huge opportunity this bull run. Many of them have been 50% below all-time highs before the crash, and now they're 60-70% away. So that's huge discounts across the board. Neither I nor anyone else out there knows how low we're going, knows how long this is going on, this dip, this dump. But we all know that in the long term, crypto is going to be just fine. I'll leave you with that. Stay safe, guys. Be good, and I'll see you tomorrow.